So, a whole bunch of people asked me to do other things than just the questions on the chapters and Novozymes. Doesn't look like they're all here, but needless to say, that's what I did. And so review of tool for cases. This is includes the tool chasm, so that's where I'm going to talk about it. Also, a lot of the tools since the last cases can be looked at it as, can you make it? Where is it now? How risky is it to make it? Where to place it? And how can we get there? And so we'll go through those first, and I'm going to have you guys all get a pen, guys and gals all get a pen and pencil. And then questions on the chapters, those are the chapters. And then if you guys have questions on the chapters, ask them. And questions on Novozymes. Hey, there we are. Okie dokie. Well, first thing, if you're going to do any of these cases, the last two cases are all the ones we're doing for the real company, and then the ones we're doing for Novozymes. And the progression of tools that I've given you since the last tool is, the first one is, can you make it? And which is, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I'll just go through it real quick. What this tool is, what they call a decomposition tool that looks at the products that the company are thinking about making, 1, 2, or 3 products, and then looks at the products that they have made before or the company's founder's capabilities. All right? And this is simply, do you have enough X marks the spot that it makes sense to go forward? Most good opportunity tools like SWOT just tell you if it's a good opportunity, not if it's a good opportunity for you. And the devil is in the details. I love my little cartoons. I'll do that. And I usually do this examining secondary data, but you can do it any way you would like. And the managerial capabilities come first, and they're all centered around how to manage technologies. And they talk about product or service offering type of physical product, type of service product, managerial emphasis, complexity, technology, material, maturity, and type of innovation. And do you guys remember this stuff, or should we just get to the screen, or would you like me to go over each little ditty here?
No, up to you guys.
So, you know, let's go to, I can do it this way anyway. So this is the first little thing you have, all right, on your issue. Let's say you're doing Novozymes or one of the companies, any company. Let's say we didn't, let's say we're doing, what real case companies do you guys have?
I've got Sigma Technologies and Ozone.
Ozone,
Oh,
Veritran,
Veritran. Grants, the Emerging Technologies.
okay, grants, what you can do with grants. We went there with one of the groups, I guess, 2 Saturdays ago.
What about the other side of grants?
Okay, well, why don't we do something like grants? Okay, is that fair enough? I don't care which one we do, and let's take a look at the founders, and we'll look at the founders versus what they are, all right? So the product they're trying to do is, what do you do with a semi-unique piece of real estate, which is a 28-acre, oops, oh, we care about you deeply. There you go. We haven't got very far. And so almost all of these cases, including Novozymes and almost all of the other things, lend itself to this tool. Because we're just trying to see, hey, this is a great idea. We looked at ozone for them. a few years ago, and we found it wasn't that good an idea for what they wanted, because you might remember that it was killing people and burning up the rooms and stuff like that. And we showed them through the tool that this was probably not going to change. That was for the ozone thing when they were looking to kill bugs. It killed bugs great. It just did everything else. So people don't usually have a process to look, especially at technology. Most companies don't do it. Most companies, unless they're large and technology intensive, have never done it. And they'll just get an idea, wow, this is a good idea. And this could be grants, this could be, what is it, Veritran, this could be, what's?
Sigma Technologies.
Sigma, what do you do, which one?
Oh, the grant, Roswell.
Roswell, could be any one of these things. Roswell and grants are particularly similar. All right, so let's take a look at this. Now you got your little things out, and we can say, let's say the P1 is the grants, 28-acre greenhouse. P2 right now is Joe Ortiz. Okay? Now it turns out I didn't know, but on my little trip out there, I found out that he is a son of Grants. That's where he grew. His parents grew up, and he is very beholden to it. And they lost 60 jobs when this thing closed in 2011. All right, so gives us a little more interest and idea of what's going on. But what does Joe Ortiz do? Let's just go down this. And so one of the things this can do is, if you were being an entrepreneurial team, you could say, okay, what is missing on the team? What kind of person should we get so we can cross the X's? But let's just go for Joe. Joe is really selling a service product. He sells real estate. He makes programs. That's what, I don't know, I think that's a service. We'll say it is just because that's what I can do. But he has a physical product that he has to deal with, right? He has a physical product, right? Let's go to the next thing. It's probably a materials product. They don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to take a material in, they're going to transform it into something else. So it's a materials product. And he is probably, so we have an X somewhere around physical product for grants and somewhere around materials. And for Joe, we have an X somewhere around knowledge-based business, because he's pretty smart. He doesn't take on typical real estate issues. It certainly is always a new thing. You've heard of his different type of projects. And whatever we do, it grants, it's going to be operational, right? It's going to be an operations intensive thing, right? Whatever happens. I don't know what it is. It has to be, or else you don't have efficiencies and you go away, right? For him, it's always about development, technology development, idea creation, ideation, right? So right here we have some problems. So what kind of person do you think we need in tier 1? Probably need somebody who's done something with agriculture. Probably need somebody who's done something with the physical product. And then he had this, what was his friend's name that passed away? McDivitt, or I can't remember. Let's say it's McDivitt, just to pick it. And he was the guy that was helping him ideate all the different land masses, right? Same thing with Roswell. It's got a fairly unique physical issue. Now, if you're going to sit there with Roswell and grants and say, how can we make it a service? Well, it would be selling things for that block, right? If we were just, we had it up, we had the physical, because every service, as we might remember from CHIPS, has a part that's a physical product, like you have books in the class. That's a physical product portion of a service. This is what we learned together, and hopefully limited a little bit by what the professor knows. Does that make sense? So he can try and make it a service. That's why for Roswell, he's really interested on making it a kind of a science and tech park type of idea, where he's going to try and get somebody there. Okay, So now, depending on what opportunity you choose for him, if he's gonna be a manufacturer of a product out of Grants or out of Roswell, that's one issue. If you can make it a service, that's another issue. For him personally, he's in the service business. So you want to get that kind of stuff. So tier 2, both of them could be operations, or both of them could be set up for technology development. He is certainly on technology development. So the next one is how complex is it? I would say that if we look at, you know, he came in and talked to you, he showed you semi-complex things. I would say moderate complexity in the types of products he has done before. Very interesting ways to make a real estate issue, but it's certainly not making a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, right? There's not that much complexity. So we can say moderate. And probably that's going to be the same thing in both of those areas. So that's a good niche. So what type of innovation? Well, I don't know if the guy that went to Grants shared everything, but I think, well, who was it? Bill was there. But Bill, he told Bill that, you know, hey, we could just sell this for selling tomatoes. So that would be niche creation or something like that. So it depends on what you're doing. But he wasn't very interested in that, if you see what I'm saying. Even though he could do it and make money, and he says he has the information that shows the first 2 years they were making money there. He was interested in some other kind of, so that would have been regular innovation. He was interested in more niche creation, because that's what he's done in the past. And it has been. If you looked at his real estate, you know, city of the future thing, that's a niche, right? Not everybody in this room is going to want to live there. You know, but, so, and this is probably a technology push or pull. He is definitely market pull, probably traditionally. You could say technology. And probably these ideas is nobody was asking anybody to put a 28-acre greenhouse or put a aquatic species issues in Clovis and Grants or wherever it is. I've been there. Artesian. Roswell, that's it. All right? So you would look at these things and you could say from this, if you're going to do this, Joe, you need some, for this opportunity that we have looked at, you're going to need to do this, 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 and this. You're going to have to find somebody else who knows this. You shouldn't do it if it's just you. If you want to do it just you, it limits your type of different opportunities you can make. Does that make sense? And it's the same thing with ozone, and it's which one are you doing? Grants. And it's the same with Ferrotran. Same, very, very same thing. All right? A lot of people that think they know about technology management think they know about technology management because they're like, I was an engineer. A failed engineer, but an engineer nonetheless. I was not a great engineer. I was okay. I was functional, but I'd never be great at it. But I did think about business terms with technology. And for an engineer, like some of us I think are here, the big thing here is not to think about how the thing runs, how it works, but how the idea can be placed, how the innovation might work, how the differences between technology change and technology innovation or use. Does that make sense? And that's what this does. So you could go back to Joe, or you could go back to, am I doing something bad?
No, I just want to.
Did you open up the